India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Sela Tunnel in Itanagar while participating in Viksit Bharat Viksit Northeast program in northeastern state of Arunachal Pradesh. Sela Tunnel is constructed at a cost of about 825 crore rupees and will provide all-weather connectivity to Tawang across Sela Pass on the Balipara Charidwar Tawang Road in Arunachal Pradesh. Prime Minister Modi also launched the Unnati scheme worth 10,000 crore rupees and dedicated developmental projects worth 55,600 crore rupees in Manipur, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Sikkim, Tripura and Arunachal Pradesh. Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister said Northeast is becoming a strong link for trade and tourism with South Asia and East Asia. Prime Minister also spoke about Modi ki guarantee and told people that they will realize his guarantee once they reach Arunachal Pradesh.
मोदी की गारंटी ये तो सुन ही रहे हैं आप लोग, लेकिन मोदी की गारंटी का मतलब क्या होता है, ये जरा अरुणाचल में आएंगे ना, इतने दूर सुदूर आपको साक्षात नजर आएगा। पूरा नॉर्थ ईस्ट देख रहा है कि मोदी की गारंटी कैसे काम कर रही है। 2019 में यहीं से मैंने सेला टनल का शिलान्यास करने का काम किया था और आज क्या हुआ, बन गया कि नहीं बन गया, बन गया कि नहीं बन गया। क्या इसको गारंटी कहते हैं कि नहीं कहते हैं? ये गारंटी पक्की गारंटी है कि नहीं है? देखिए 2019 में ही डोनी पोलो एयरपोर्ट का भी शिलान्यास मैंने किया था। आज ये एयरपोर्ट शानदार सेवाएं दे रहा है कि नहीं दे रहा है? अब बताइए, अगर मैंने 2019 में किया ना तो कुछ लोगों को लगता था कि मोदी तो चुनाव के लिए कर रहा है। समय कोई भी हो, वर्ष कोई भी हो, महीना कोई भी हो, मेरा काम सिर्फ और सिर्फ देशवासियों के लिए होता है, जनता जनार्दन के लिए होता है, आपके लिए होता है।
Later on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted his experience of visiting Arunachal Pradesh. He wrote, "Returning to Arunachal Pradesh was always special. The breathtaking landscapes, vibrant culture and warmth of its people never failed to impress. The welcome in Itanagar was very memorable." Earlier, Prime Minister visited the UNESCO World Heritage Site, Kaziranga National Park and Tiger Reserve. On his maiden visit, Prime Minister Modi first took an elephant safari in the Mihibuk area of the central Kohora range of the park. He also fed the elephants there. And after this, he took a jeep safari within the same range. Kaziranga National Park is famous for one-horned rhinoceros. Elephants, wild water buffaloes, swamp deer and tigers are also found in the park. As we told you, Prime Minister was seen feeding sugar canes to elephants named Lakimai, Pradumna and Fulmai. Kaziranga is known for the rhinos, but there are also a large number of elephants there, along with several other species. Prime Minister Modi urged everyone to visit Kaziranga National Park and experience the unparalleled beauty of its landscapes and the warmth of the people of Assam. On social media, he said it is a place where every visit enriches the soul and connects you deeply with the heart of Assam. First female field director of Kaziranga National Park, Sonali Ghosh, felt immense joy as Prime Minister Narendra Modi took the elephant and jeep safari at Assam's Kaziranga National Park and Tiger Reserve. Prime Minister spent more than 2 hours at this picturesque park interacting with the Vandurgas, the female frontline forest staff members. Our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya spoke to Sonali Ghosh regarding Prime Minister's visit. Let's listen in.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi just wrapped up his visit to Kaziranga National Park, and to talk about that, I have with me the field director of this place, Sonali Ghosh. Ma'am, PM was here. He met your Durga Vahini, female frontline warriors here. What was he asking about the Durga Vahini and how the whole thing went?
Thank you so much. I think it was wonderful opportunity for us, especially when the country's own Prime Minister decides to spend a night in Kaziranga and wants to visit and spends 2 hours of his precious and valuable time in a park. That just shows his concern for the wildlife, it shows its concern for communities, and most important, the concern for the forest frontline. He spent a lot of time today with the women frontline. He was extremely impressed with the women. He was amazed that they are so young and yet they are doing the same sort of duties as any other person in the remotest of areas. The discussions that were held with him, he suggested that, how in mission life we are looking at the, overall environment and the health of the environment, and the rivers and the water is something which is very dear to him. And he also suggested to us that how we should be able to take that in our day-to-day lives in this.
Tell us more about this place. How do you see? Do you believe that Kaziranga National Park is a iconic figure when it comes to national level, but after this visit, it will become an international figure?
Absolutely. I think, Honorable Prime Minister sir is a global icon, and now he has come here, he has spent 2 hours here, so he has made Kaziranga a global icon as well. So I think that has been his blessings, his support, which will now take Kaziranga to greater heights for everybody.
Much appreciated time. So that was the field director, Shonali Ghosh, saying that Kaziranga is expected to attain a dizzy height after Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a visit, came here for a safari, and it is also expected to, be internationally renowned after this. With camera person Rahul Chopra, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for GD India from Assam.
India has received the prestigious Measles and Rubella Champion Award for its exemplary efforts in combating these diseases. The award was received by Ambassador Sripriya Ranganathan on behalf of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare at American Red Cross headquarters in Washington. The award is a testament to the dedication and hard work of country's frontline health workers, healthcare professionals, policymakers and communities across the nation. India will celebrate the Poshan Pakhwada from 9 to 23rd of March to raise awareness about the importance of nutrition and promote healthy eating habits. The activities during the Poshan Pakhwada will focus on key themes which include Poshan Bhi, Padhai Bhi, a path-breaking program to ensure that India has the world's largest universal high-quality preschool network, tradition and local dietary practices, focused sensitization around the nutrition and healthcare of pregnant women and infants. India offered free entry to tourists, female tourists in fact, to monuments protected by ASI, that is Archaeological Survey of India, on the occasion of International Women's Day on Friday. This initiative was introduced by Ministry of Culture, in which free entry was provided to these monuments to all the women visitors from India and across the world. India's National Investigation Agency released a video of the suspect linked to Bengaluru's Rameshwaram cafe blast case. On March 6th, the NIA had announced a cash reward of 1 million rupees for providing information about the youth suspected to be involved in the case. At least 10 people were injured in the blast at Rameshwaram cafe in Brookfield in South India's East Bengaluru on 1st of March. The explosion is suspected to have been carried out through an improvised explosive device. Apollo Hospital in India has introduced the first non-invasive Zapex brain tumor treatment in South Asia. Now, this technology offers patients a non-invasive, pain-free alternative with sessions lasting only 30 minutes. Zapex employs a self-shielded, gyroscopic linear accelerating design to direct radiosurgical beams accurately targeting the tumors. You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break. But after the break, Canada to resume funding for UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees. Sam Altman returns to OpenAI's board along with 3 new directors. The US Congress passed its first package of spending bills hours before shutdown deadline for key agencies.
don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts, we demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Live. US Navy ships and aircraft shot down 15 uncrewed aerial vehicles, UAVs, fired by Yemen's Houthis in the Red Sea area early on Saturday. The US Central Command said that the military was responding to a large-scale attack by Iranian-backed Houthi terrorists launched into the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. It further added that the UAVs were determined to present an imminent threat to merchant vessels, US Navy and coalition ships in the region. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said on Friday that it was up to Hamas to agree to a ceasefire. The ceasefire would allow more humanitarian aid into Gaza and pave the way for talks on an enduring resolution to the conflict. Israel and Hamas blamed each other for the lack of agreement on a deal. Hamas is required to free hostages that it still holds in exchange for a 40-day truce. Blinken and Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan held discussions on a wide range of topics ranging from security, regional cooperation, trade, energy and other issues. For the last couple of months, this is the third meeting between the two leaders. In the meeting, Blinken said Washington was still pushing for a ceasefire.
And in this moment, in this hour, we're also intensely focused on seeing if we can get a ceasefire with the release of hostages, the expansion of humanitarian assistance, and an environment for working on an enduring resolution. And there, the issue is Hamas. The issue is whether Hamas will decide or not to have a ceasefire that would benefit everyone. The ball is in their court. We're working intensely on it, and we'll see what they do. But there's no doubt in my mind that getting to this ceasefire with the release of hostages would be a profound benefit to everyone involved.
As the Israel-Hamas conflict continues, the United States president has warned of danger if fighting in Gaza escalates. The U.S. president said on Friday that it was looking tough for a ceasefire agreement in Gaza by the start of Ramadan on Sunday. While the United States has also said that the temporary port to speed up aid to Gaza will take several weeks in planning and execution, as U.S. is planning to provide 2 million meals to Gazans daily.
We anticipate that it'll take over 1,000 U.S. forces to participate in building this capability. As far as time frame, as I mentioned, several weeks, likely up to 60 days in order to deploy the forces and construct the causeway and the pier.
Canada is going to resume funding to the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency, becoming one of the first international donors to announce such a move. Ottawa paused funding on January 26th after Israel alleged some of the staff at the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees in the Near East, UNRWA agency, had been involved in the October 7th Hamas terrorist attacks. The UN Security Council on Friday discussed the maintenance of peace and security of Ukraine. The United States condemned Russia's recent aerial assaults on Ukrainian cities, stating these actions were a clear violation of the UN Charter.
The United States condemns, in the strongest terms, the Russian aerial assaults on cities and critical infrastructure across Ukraine. Russia's attempts to justify the unjustifiable today do not change simple facts: that Russia continues to conduct a war of aggression.
Meanwhile, the Russian Federation defended military operations as precise and non-threatening to civilians, attributing any harm to Ukrainian air defense errors.
We have proven that high-precision strikes by the Russian aerospace forces on targets in Ukraine linked to the military potential of the Kyiv regime bear no danger for the civilians of that country that are not present at those objects.
Ukraine's representative at the UN provided a sobering count of alleged war crimes, highlighting the human toll of the conflict and underscoring the deep divisions that remain within the international community.
To date, the Ukrainian law enforcement agencies have launched investigations into 143,508 war crimes and 16,650 crimes against national security. They include the killing of 11,973 civilians.
National Guard helicopter assigned to patrol duty along the U.S.-Mexico border crashed in Texas, killing 2 soldiers and a U.S. Border Patrol agent who were aboard and injuring another soldier, the military officials said. According to the officials, helicopter went down near Rio Grande City while conducting aerial monitoring and detection operations at the border. The cause of the crash was under investigation. Former Maldives President Mohamed Nasheed slammed the action of President Mohamed Muizzu's government and said that the people of Maldives want Indian people to come there on holidays. Nasheed, currently in India, conveyed apologies on behalf of the Maldivian people.
It has impacted us a lot. And, I am actually here in India. I'm very worried about this. I want to say the people of the Maldives are sorry. We are sorry that this has happened. Indian people, we want Indian people to come on their holidays to the Maldives, and there will not be any effect on any change in our hospitality. So it's very unfortunate that our kind of more activist-minded government officials, low-level government officials, decided to articulate in this manner. Then I am also encouraged that the president has now removed them from government. So I think these matters must be ironed out, and we must revert back, change course, and go back to our usual relationship.
Let's get to other updates that are making it to the headlines from across the world now. Nearly 250 Cambodian couples braced for the long haul to set a Guinness World Record for carrying their partner for the longest duration of time. The competition was held to honor the role of women in men's lives. Some of the 245 pairs of contestants passed out from exhaustion. At Los Angeles ASU FIDM Museum, the work of the 5 Oscar-nominated costume designers, including Barbie, Oppenheimer and Poor Things, are showcased at a new exhibition. Over 24,000 dogs and their owners were in Birmingham for the opening of one of the biggest canine celebrations in the world, the annual Crufts Show. Around 220 different breeds will show off their athletic ability, agility and fly ball skills to compete for the title of Best in the Show. The Crufts Family Crossbreed of the Year and Obedience Award will also be announced. The event is held from 7th to 10th of March. Dubai inaugurated the first ever India by the Creek Festival by bringing the vibrant culture of India to Al Seef Park. This 3-day celebration highlights the long-standing historical and cultural connection between India and Dubai. This immersive experience promises to solidify the deeply entrenched cultural ties between both the countries, paving the way for a future enriched by artistic expression. On the occasion, Indian ambassador to the UAE, Sanjay Sudhir, said India and the UAE's relationship has transformed into a comprehensive strategic and economic partnership.
And I think in that sense, the role played by the Creek has been something very, very historic. I'm also very glad that Freemberg has taken this initiative. I know it has taken a little time, but a lot of planning around it. But now that it has started, I'm sure it will be a very important part of the cultural calendar of Dubai. Dubai takes pride in being a hub of culture and brings different elements of culture from across the world to people.
Artificial intelligence company OpenAI's chief executive Sam Altman will join the ChatGPT makers board along with 3 new directors just months after getting fired and rehired by the company. An investigation into the dismissal of Altman led by a law firm found that a breakdown in trust between the board and Altman led to his firing. As the investigations concluded, the firm also said that the move was not the result of concerns related to finances or product safety. Altman's ouster shook the industry as various tech leaders like Microsoft voiced their support for him. The U.S. Senate approved spending legislation for several government agencies just hours before current funding expires, preventing a partial government shutdown. The Senate approved a $467.5 billion spending package, which will fund agriculture, transportation, housing, energy, veterans and other programs through the end of the fiscal year on September 30th. The package now heads to U.S. President Joe Biden to be signed into a law. U.S. Coast Guard is investigating an oil spill off the coast of Huntington Beach. According to the Coast Guard statement, sheen was discovered after a Coast Guard helicopter flew over the site at sunrise. The spill is located roughly 2.8 miles off the Huntington Beach near 2 oil drilling platforms, but it was unclear whether either were the source of the spill, Coast Guard's statement said. England continues to crumble under pressure as they are 5 down in their second innings on day 3 of the 5th Test match in Dharamshala. India continues to mount pressure on the visitors. Ashwin has taken 4 scups till now. Earlier on day 2nd, centuries by Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma helped India to take the score to 477 and take a lead by 259 runs against England in the 5th Test in Dharamshala. Meanwhile, England pacer James Anderson becomes the first ever fast bowler to claim 700 Test wickets. India have been in the ascendancy since bowling out England for 218 on the first day at the picturesque stadium. India lead the 5-match series by 3-1. India's Lakshya Sen and world number 1 Indian pair of Satwik-Chirag Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty advanced to the semi-finals of the French Open Super 750 badminton tournament on Friday. However, a fighting PV Sindhu fell short against second seed Chen Yufei of China in a fighting 98 minutes match in the women's singles quarterfinals. The Indian shuttler won the first game but could not keep the tempo in the succeeding games. That's it in this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and also Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.